Hey there, I'm Jessica, and this is Bookshelf to Big Screen. Today, I'm talking about the book Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple and the 2019 movie adaptation starring Cate Blanchett and Billy Crudup. Fair warning, I'll be talking about specific details in the book and movie, so there will be spoilers. First of all, this book is great, but I absolutely loved the movie. It's just so good. It looks beautiful and has some incredibly talented people in it. The story is smart and funny and pulls at your heartstrings. What more could you ask for? Bernadette is an accomplished architect married to Elgin, a computer animator. She wins a MacArthur Genius Award after spending 3 years building a house using only materials from within a 20-mile radius of the house. Her nasty neighbor buys the house through his business manager and tears it down in just a few hours while Bernadette is in Europe. Devastated, she flees to Seattle when Elgin gets a job with Microsoft. After 4 miscarriages, she finally gives birth to their daughter B, and the story takes place over about 2 months in the winter when B is 15, and the family is planning a trip to Antarctica. In the book, the story is told from B's perspective through a collection of emails and letters and notes from everyone involved, along with B's personal essays on the events that happened. What I liked about this is that it gives each character the opportunity to speak in the first person, and I feel like we really get to know them each a little better. In the movie, we're quickly introduced to Audrey and Suelynn. They're parents at B's school who are super critical of Bernadette. Audrey also happens to be Bernadette's neighbor. She hassles Bernadette about removing some blackberry bushes that are encroaching on her property. Bernadette complies, but the removal results in a mudslide that wrecks Audrey's home. Audrey also fakes an injury, claiming that Bernadette ran over her foot. She gives Bernadette the hospital bill, but Bernadette does not pay. In the book, Bernadette tries her best not to be bothered by Audrey. She pays for both the bush removal and the hospital bill without any argument. The biggest difference here is that when Audrey's home is destroyed by the mudslide, she is forced to move into the local Westin hotel. Here, she's confronted with the fact that her son is a delinquent when he's found doing drugs in his hotel room with some street kids. She fights with the manager, gets arrested and banned from the Westin, and then moves into Suelynn's house. In the movie, we see Bernadette communicating with her virtual assistant, Manjula. Later, the FBI shows up and informs LG that Manjula is actually a Russian crime syndicate and that Bernadette has given them all of their personal and banking information. This, combined with him finding her asleep at the pharmacist and his concern over the medication she has, convinces LG the best thing to do is an intervention, hoping to get her to voluntarily check into a psychiatric facility. Bernadette escapes out the bathroom window and runs over to Audrey's house, where Audrey helps her. In the book, the bathroom Bernadette is in is actually on the 2nd floor, making it impossible for her to jump out. While Audrey is staying at Suelynn's house, she comes across the FBI file, which contains all the letters and emails about Bernadette, including information about Bernadette running over her foot. When she sees that they are trying to have Bernadette, a mother, committed and that her lie is a part of it, she starts to feel guilty and decides to help Bernadette. When she gets to Bernadette's house, the intervention is already in progress. She sees Bernadette go to the bathroom, gets a ladder, and helps Bernadette escape. Audrey shows Bernadette the copies she made of the FBI file, and Bernadette asks her to get them to B. Bernadette then goes to Antarctica. With Bernadette missing, LG sends B to boarding school, and when B gets the package from Audrey, she starts writing a book, which is actually the book that we're reading. Very meta. In the movie, Suelynn gets a job at Microsoft working for LG. She's shown fawning over his TED Talk. It's subtle, but she inserts herself into LG's life more than she probably should. When LG calls a psychiatrist to discuss his worry over Bernadette's health, Suelynn says, "Thank you for accommodating us," and "We're so glad that you could come." When the FBI talks to Elgin, she says, "Let's have a seat," including herself in what should be a very private conversation. Later, she's present when Elgin and the doctor confront Bernadette. In the book, when Suelynn becomes Elgin's admin, it gives her an inside scoop on Bernadette, and she relays everything back to Audrey. She becomes obsessed with Elgin and encourages him to confide in her about Bernadette. They spend more and more time together, and Elgin never discourages her unprofessionalism. In fact, when the FBI talked to him, he asks that they allow Suelynn to stay with him. The night before Bernadette's intervention, she and Elgin get drunk and sleep together. She had to drive him home the next morning, which is why she was at the intervention. After Bernadette disappears, Suelynn finds out she's pregnant. She quits her job and Elgin buys her a bigger house. He has dinner with her and her children once a week. This whole bit with Suelynn is the part that I hate most about the book. It's so shitty and it doesn't have a proper resolution. The worst part? When Elgin is overwhelmed by how quickly things happened, including Suelynn's pregnancy, she says, "It's only sudden to you because Bernadette had all those miscarriages. When you're a healthy woman like me, you make love to a man and you get pregnant." Disgusting. In the movie, right after Bernadette disappears, Audrey sees Bea and tells her that Bernadette went to Antarctica, thinking that she'd catch Elgin and Bea on the flight. Bea immediately gets Elgin to take her to Antarctica on another cruise ship that will cross paths with the ship that Bernadette is supposed to be on. When they're on the ship, they're informed that Bernadette went missing. It seems like Elgin has given up, but Bea finds out they're at Palmer Station and she tells Elgin she thinks that Bernadette must be there. Together, they steal a boat and go to the station to look for Bernadette. When they find her, she's trying to call them, saying that she wants to stay in Antarctica to work on a project, but she won't if they're not okay with it. They all hug and everyone lives happily ever after. In the book, it takes about 3 weeks for Elgin to find out that Bernadette went to Antarctica. When he tells Suelynn to book him a flight to South America so he can be there when the boat docks, she tags along. When the boat arrives, they discover that Bernadette is missing. After an investigation, the report says that she probably had too much to drink and it's assumed that she fell overboard. Bea gets kicked out of boarding school because her grades are starting to suffer while she's writing her book. She convinces Elgin to take her to Antarctica so she can get closure, but she's actually going to follow Bernadette's steps and try to find her. Elgin is the one who actually figures out that Bernadette must not have scanned out when she left and must be at Palmer Station. When they steal the boat, they get caught, but Elgin distracts the crew while Bea goes into Palmer Station alone and finds Bernadette. The book ends with Bernadette's letter to Bea, which explained why she was in Antarctica and how she found out about an interesting architectural project that she wanted to be a part of. She also tells Bea that she will probably forgive Elgin, and that's kind of it. So the book is good because it's a compelling read and it gave us some good characters to love and hate. But even though it tries to end on a happy note, I didn't like the unresolved bit about the affair. I think the most fun part about the movie is being able to see Bernadette's past work and watch her find her passion for creative problem solving again in the Antarctic. I didn't really cover any of this because it's mostly the same as the book, but I do encourage you to check it out for yourself. I've actually included links to both the book and movie in the description below if you want to check them out. Well, that's my recap on Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple and the 2019 movie adaptation. What did you like or dislike about this book or movie? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this recap, please click like and be sure to click subscribe to see my next video. Thanks for watching.